Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the chat on Niger Watch. How you doing? Yes, we are live again. How you doing? What's happening? What's happening? How's your day playing out? I hope all's playing out just fine. So yes, my Niger Watch family, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you wherever you are across the globe. I hope you're well. Welcome to the chat. One of our favorite songs, right? Guys, come on in. Now will be a good time to poke, to call somebody, to invite, to share the link. Now will be a good time to do all of that so that we can have a robust time here. In the comment section, I have posted a link. If you'd like to partake in this conversation, you know what to do. But if you don't know what to do, just click on the link and you'll be right here with me. Yes, guys. Hello to those in the comment section. Hello to you watching me right now. Please, guys, let's do the needful by liking the broadcast, sharing, inviting somebody. Also, by clicking on the dollar sign to the right in the comment section, guys, please support us. It costs it costs a lot to run this podcast. Yes, it does cost a lot to run this podcast here in Nigeria. So please endeavor to support us by clicking on the dollar sign to the right in the comment section. As I always say, you don't necessarily have to run a domiciliary account to whatever currency you're operating on. It's just about fine. And the platform is safe and secure. Yes, safe and secure. You can trust us on that. Thank you very much for doing the needful. But guys, let's start by liking the broadcast, sharing and inviting someone on here. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Makirabo. How are you doing? How's your day playing out? It's good to have you here. It's good to have you here. All right. And in another 1 minute, we will begin. Okay, just a minute, please. Just a minute. Okay, let's dive right into our story. So, this story is of um, just a minute. This story is of Instablog. Should you want to uh, get to know more about the story, you could go to the comment section. Hello, Mr. Makirabo. It's lovely to have you here, right here with me. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Our network are in sync today, and I'm glad to have you here, Mr. Makirabo.
I'm happy also, but I
All
am
right.
also I'm also preparing to go to work, but I still have like 50 minutes.
Okay. Let's make good use of the 50 minutes then. All right. Please put your mic on mute. Thank you. Okay, so let's take this story. This story was shared by Ike Orji. Says so. One of my friends just divorced the wife 4 days ago. A marriage of 2 years. What was the issue? It was something very little, but it was something very little that matured and loyal minds could tackle. He asked the lady to edit her father's name in all her handles to their surname since they are now married. He asked her to get a court he asked her to get a court affidavit to change even her bank details and other stuff relating to her that bore her father's name. The lady refused on the grounds that it will ruin her followers' identity and other things. Guy was calm. The Mr. and the Mrs. So and so now for only marriage certificate, no other place. The lady said she rather quit than changing her surname. This issue has been going on and on for 2 years. Dear ladies, do what do whatever that pleases. Dear men, do whatever that pleases you. So that is the story. Now let's take reactions from the story. The first reaction we have here is from Northern Aphrodisiacs. Welcome to all my panelists. Please just listen attentively. Please, please, thank you. And she says, seriously, to start with, I don't see any reason for changing surname. A husband never equals a father. The man no serious. Okay, that's a reaction from a lady. We have another one from Billionaires Africa. Says, if she doesn't want to change, leave her. You didn't give birth to her. Remember, however, it also depends on how she communicates her unwillingness to change it. In my place, our mothers retained their fathers' names after marriage in those days. It is this unreasonable Western practice that destroyed it. Why should a woman change her surname? No tangible reason. Let's keep taking reactions. And this is from Enagija. Says, a married woman's pride is to bear her husband's last name. If she doesn't, that means she's bound to be for the streets. Hmm, that's quite a reaction there. And then we have this from Able Peter, I guess. It's unfair that wives have to change their names after marriage and take on their husband's name. That's some dumb. That's the white men brought and we adopted. Originally in African culture, women are not supposed to change their names after marriage. Imagine a woman letting go of her surname, a name she have answered her whole life, a name that has been with her through every struggle and milestones. Dear men, if your wife doesn't want to drop her surname after marriage, it shouldn't really be a problem. She can just add your surname to her name, and even if she doesn't want to, it should not really be an issue. The marriage certificate is enough evidence of your marriage. If it's any consolation, the children would answer your surname. So cut your wife some slack. Westernization really did a number on us. And I hope this is the last reaction I'll be taking. Yeah. And this is from Maria Place 22. Says, men just love to own and control everything, even human beings. Your kids are bearing your name. Isn't that enough for you? Yes, so that is it. Now, Mr. Makirabo, welcome to the broadcast once again. Now, let's talk about this.
Thank you very much. I greet everybody. This matter is very complicated matter. So it depends on individual and also depend on the country where you are living. For example, like the country I'm living on, it's not only woman who take the surname from the husband. The husband can also take the surname from the wife. So those things have to be an agreement before the marriage. So before you marry, there are some, that is in some country, or that, like, for example, in Nigeria, they do this marriage seminar. These are the things you have to talk about. You settle this issue. There are some children here in Germany, for example, they take their mother's surname, so it depends on individual. For me, for example, my wife have to take my name, my children have to take my name, but I know other people don't have problem that with. So this one depends on individual.
Okay, so now I'm asking you as an African man, right? Why is it important for a woman to take on her husband's name after the whole marriage rites has been done?
Yeah,
What does it do? What does it do? What is that thing that a woman answering your name does to you as a man? It's
yeah,
a rather very personal question.
yeah, that is it's like the identity of the marriage. A woman taking the husband's surname, it automatically make that woman feel that now I'm a married woman. I belongs to another family. It has always been like that. So nothing can change it. It's like identity. When I say it's like identity, and nobody can change it.
Have you for once thought about how a woman feels about leaving entire identity and moving on with you?
But
Do
then
you
she
for once?
should, yes, any woman, for me, everybody have their own reason. For me, a woman have to decide if you don't want to change your identity or your surname after getting married, then you rather remain single. It's not a must you must marry. You must marry. You rather remain single and make your children, so you don't need to change your surname. As far as you married, you automatically you're supposed to change your surname.
All right. All right, Mr. Mackerel. But sometimes I feel like, when a son who uh who grew up under his father, rightly so, when he gets to that point that he gets married, automatically he wants to do the same things that his father, did. That's when he begins to feel like a man. Like when this man is cutting this woman, there are things that you will see the man sweep. He could even wash his girl's clothes, fix dinner, do surprise. But once he gets married, he just wears this authoritative garment. He just overnight becomes, well, he has always been a lord, but he now sees the woman as beneath him and he wants her doing all the chores because he grew up that way. And that is affecting, homes of today. So do you for once think of why you yourself want your woman to answer him, aside from the fact that because your forefathers, your forebears did this, so it cannot in your own time, you now, no, you make it look like in your own time a woman wants to mess you up and you will not stand for it. Because really, I'm already, once a woman is married to you, she's your wife in every sense, whether she carries your last name or not. No, I just want you to really think about this. If you have any other reason aside from the fact that every man in your family had their wives, use their name, so you wouldn't want to be the one that looks like a woman is sitting on you. Sometimes that's how it comes off to us as women. If I'm wrong, please, Mr. Makira, will change the submission for me.
Yeah, you are right, but it depends on the environment you grow up. If you just like as a baby, if the foods your mother trained you with, that is the food you will like to really eat when you grow up because you grow up with this food. It's like character. You learn this thing from your parents. You understand? So that has always been our system. If we grow up and that is the way, you know, this issue for many men, it should not be an issue. They will just take it and say, okay, there's no big deal in it. You understand? But for some men, that is the biggest deal. If I marry, if I marry to you, you are my wife and you belongs to me. So how is carrying your surname or that your father's surname is like we have two families and two kings cannot live in the same house. That is how I see it.
Okay, that's another angle. Thank you for that, Mr. Makira. Let me talk to some other person. I'll come back to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Fansat, it's good to have you on this broadcast. Good day to you, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Emma. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you.
What's your reaction to this?
Well, this is one of those topics that goes to all disciplines. It's biblical, it's traditional, it's societal. In every society you go to, usually there's a role for the man and there's a role for the woman. It's not imposed. It's just the way we are created as human beings. Even when you watch like nature programs, you can see that the male of every species has a role to play. Now, it's not mandatory. And some of us who are Christians, it's biblical. So if you even from the beginning, Genesis 2:24, it says, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So the man does leave the house too, and then go get his wife. In Matthew 19:5, he says, quote, and said, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh again." And then you have it in Ephesians 5:31. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So it's important that a man and a woman becomes one. It doesn't happen when you just say you're dating, like in modern society. You have a girlfriend, it's not going to take your name. Now, the way we have constructed it right from time immemorial is that you then go and get your wife, your loved one, you marry her. You're the one who's going to pay for it, where you have dowry involved. The woman doesn't pay. So in order to become one in modern society, it's important that, like the first gentleman said about the kids taking the name, it's good that the family have a unit and have one name. And then it's also important for like insurance, for all kinds of things. But the Bible is something you don't play with. It's not mandatory, you don't have to do it, but there's a romance involved in it. That a woman takes her husband's name. It's not forced on her. So women shouldn't feel bad about that. If you don't want, you can disobey the Bible, but you know the consequences in doing that, right?
Mr. Pastor, the Bible does not say that a woman, have that. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, please, speaking rightly and correctly, Mr. Pansat, the
Right.
Bible states there clearly that a woman would have to take on her husband's name,
Well, it says it in many ways,
or that they
okay?
will come together as one. Do you know?
Right.
Do you know? It feels like you are stripping her of her identity. Yes, and there's if you ask, if your people would ask your wife sincerely how they felt having to drop their parents, having to drop their father's name, because we know how involved parents are, especially the fathers, how involved they are in their girl child, and we know the relationship most or a good number of women have out there with their fathers. Then having to drop all of that, it's if women are going to be sincere, and come out here and share their experience, sincerely, you would see that some are still not happy about that. If there's anything you ask, or what would you want to change in the marriage, it would be that I still can, keep my father's name, because it feels like, I mean, you're getting married to me at this point. You're getting married to me as a doctor. It's not your doing. It's my father, so I should carry his name, his glory, his honor. I should carry it everywhere. When you refer to me as Doctor Swan, so let my father's name be mentioned there, because he paid the price. And if men would look at it from this angle, you're gonna have daughters someday if you don't already. Would you not want that where when your daughters get to that apex, get to that point, and her name is being called, your name is also mentioned? I don't know. Like, can we begin to look at it from that perspective?
No, no, Emma, that is very rebellious. I've said it before. It's not mandatory, but you have to, the Bible is very, very clear on this. Let me give you a specific chapter, Genesis 2:23 to 24. It says, "Then the man said, 'This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh.'" Now, without the man, the woman will be called woe. When you say in the Bible, it says, "Woe unto you that this and that." But because the man, when that bone was taken from Adam's rib and created, it makes it woman instead of just woe, right? It's pedantic, but it's like you have to use your imagination here. What is the problem? If you are holding on to your father's name and your father's compound because you're a doctor or you're a lawyer, you want to glorify your family's name, you haven't left your family. You're disobeying the Bible. The Bible is very adamant from the Old Testament, from the beginning, Genesis, all the way to Revelations, that you should leave. First of all, the man is going to leave his family, go establish somewhere before he goes to go get a wife. And there are a lot of responsibilities on the man. It's not everybody that's a man. There are a lot you have to protect and take care of your wife. But the Bible is specific that you, the wife, when you leave your family, you have to be gone from there emotionally, trying to glorify your
Oh, but
father's name,
no, no,
right?
no. But Mr. Panzer, that's wrong on every level. Okay, let's take this one after the other. You already branched us out. First of all, Eve is not attributed to any earthly family. She was made. She was created out of him, right?
That's right.
So the issue of her living a career, she doesn't have that, and you can never disconnect anybody from their family unless witchcraft is at play here. I will not. You won't say because I am getting. Yeah, it's true. You won't say because I'm getting married to this person, then I'm going to be cut off from my family emotion. No, a woman never gets cut off from her family because of marriage. Okay, it is amazing that this is your mindset of what it means for a woman to be married out of a family,
No,
but
no, well,
and it's
I misspoke there.
lots of men share this sentiment. That's why they will expect that a woman. I don't know what gives you people this mindset. Is it because of what is required of you people as dowry? Is that part of the problem?
Well, it's not a problem. Like I said, it's nothing to be discussed in the world. Okay, you have to talk about this in the spirit. You can be rebellious about it because there are responsibilities on both sides. Right now, I misspoke earlier. I didn't say that you're gonna be emotionally cut off from your family. Of course, that's
Mm,
impossible to do.
okay.
People, but your question about is that because you go and pay the dowry? It's not really. Dowry is not like buying something, like purchasing something. No, that's why you have to be in the spirit. You have to, for Christians, I don't know what it is for other religion, but in our own religion, this is not. You can't be rebellious to God. You can't pick and choose what you want. In essence, let's say you want to be, what do they call it? These ladies of this day, what they call women who try to
Feminist.
feminists, right? Okay. Have you seen a feminist and their lifestyle? It's not it's not the natural human nature. So, but this is a spiritual realm. Okay. If you see a man taking care of his woman and his woman taking care of him, and they're in love, and their parents and their family respect them and know that they're inseparable, they're one. They have to be one. You can't say, hey, why should I be one? Now, a feminist could say that, look, I'm an individual. I don't have to be one. There's going to be two of us. We're going to wear the pants in this house. I could wear the pants too. Things like that. Now, that's metaphorical. You could wear pants, but the point is that's a role for a man and that's a role for a woman. That's why all the way through childbirth, the responsibilities you have, right? Emma, it's like going, you can't discuss this in the world, without the spiritual realm, and know that that's just the way um, we Christians, in our case, in my case, are you a Christian, by the way?
Mr. Pastor, so you want us to go to the realm just to discuss if I should change my husband's name or not? There are some things that should be done right here on earth. Right here, like having a discussion with the man. I was expecting that yeah, when I had this topic, you came to me. I was like, okay, I'm sure you will say something like, you will say something like, oh, it's between the man and the woman. They should have this discussion before marriage. And don't forget, Mr. Pansat, this
Yes.
man, it doesn't just end with, okay, now let's look, yes, Mr. Makarabo, thank you for this gracious, generous donation of yours. Thank you, Mr. Makarabo. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much. Okay, now let me use Mr. Makarabo for an instance. Now, I get married to Mr. Makarabo. As an African woman, what they will expect of me to become Ima Mark Irabo. So I'm answering your name and I'm answering your father's name, and my own father's name has been jacked out of it. How fair is this?
Well, let me just first say that Mark will be the luckiest guy in the world. But having said that, it's not it's not like that. Remember, there are kids involved. Okay, in some cases, when you get married, you don't have to be married. If you have that psychology, if you have that attitude, then this institution is not for you. The only thing about it is that you are going into a contract, spiritual contract. You are obeying the law of God, you're obeying the law of man. Marriage is an institution, and then it has its own traditions and culture. So you don't have to, you're free. But once you step in that and try to do things according to the way society is structured, then you have to also respect that institution. That's not to say that you get married and you don't want to change your name. You don't have to change your name. Now, that individualism, it's also a play. I would never say because the Bible says something that you have to do it, or because the law says that when you get married or whatever you have to take it. No, you're free. It's just they don't mess with those who are doing their own thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't think anybody would ever say here, even on this platform, that when you get married you have to change your name. No, you don't have to, or you don't
Oh,
even have
no,
to get
no.
married.
Mr. Makiraba actually said that his wife has to change her name to his wife and his children. It shows oneness that they're a family.
Right. And he has the right, but she has the right
Yeah.
to say, "Look, I'm not
And
going to
that
get married."
and that's quite an angle, by the
Right.
way. I mean, that makes sense. If you say that, that makes sense. That makes
Right.
sense.
Also, you know that the woman controls dating, sex, things like that, but the man controls marriage. It's just the way it is, right?
All right.
It's the way it is, and I think it's fair. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Fansad.
You should tell us what is your opinion on this and why. What is your opinion on why?
I will much later on in the conversation.
Okay then. Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, this is from James Morgan, and it says, Ima, holding on to your father's name after marriage can be disastrous in future because two blood-related persons might meet and cross each other without knowing they are bloodly related. Okay, gentlemen, keep it coming. And where are the women? Guys, come out, let's talk. Let them see and let them hear our own perspective. You know, you can do this under anonymity. Nobody gets to review your identity. So please come out. Let's talk. Let's let these men know how we truly feel about leaving our beloved father's name. But yes. Mm. Hi, Grand. Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome to the broadcast. Please unmute your mic.
Yeah, hi. How you guys doing today?
It's a beautiful day over here. Thank you. Would like to
Right.
get your reaction on this.
Well, I don't know. I think it's up to the family to decide what they want to do with the name. Personally, I'm married. I have kids, but I'm not. When it comes to me, I don't see things as things I need to worry about. My wife changed her name though to mine, but I didn't tell her to do that. It's up to her. Maybe she felt is the right thing to do, you know. But I wouldn't have. It's just like going to church, you know. She's a Catholic at times. She goes to Catholic. If you want to go to Catholic, that's fine. But you don't have to push me to go into it. You know, if you want to go to any other church, it's up to you. You know, when I wake up in the morning, if I decide to go to church, I go to church. If I don't, I don't. You know, so it's just uh, it just has to do with you and your family, you and your wife, what you guys decide. That's what I think, though, from my own perspective. You know, if you guys decide, oh, okay, you want, I think I have a friend whose wife uses her name, her last name too. Yeah, but yeah, and I think we've been together now for long. Yeah, so for me, just to just be happy. What makes you happy? You feel you want to. You want to do that. As far as that thing is good, taking your last name to me doesn't matter. As far as I don't see it bad. It's not something bad to do. So as far as it's not bad, yeah, it's okay. You can do whatever. If it makes you happy, you wanna, as well take your dad's name. Yeah, that's fine. That's what I think, in my own opinion, though.
Oh, all right, Mr. Grant. Mr. Fansad, I think these questions they don't they do not align. All right, Mr. Grant, you have a question for Mr. Fansad, from the panelist, and is asking you how would you react if your children are giving your wife's last name?
Oh, me?
Yes, that question is for
Oh,
you.
man. Believe me, nothing worries me. Believe me when I tell you that, man, nothing worries me. you know,
Did you grow up in Nigeria?
yeah, I grew up in Nigeria. I
Did your
live like,
father grow up? Did your father grow up in Nigeria?
yeah, my dad is a Nigerian, although he died though, but I lived all my like 30 years of my life in Nigeria. I came in here like when I was 33, I think 32, yeah. So I lived in Lagos. I was born in Lagos, everything in Lagos. So I don't. It's just like now I have like two kids. In fact, I wanted to have only one child, and then family, my wife, and the family started calling me. I was like, see, I don't want to have any other child. I just wanted to have just one, and that was it. But again, it started calling, and it took us like 2 years for us to get over that. I was like, okay, if we're having another one, it's just that one, and that's it. And that was it. So I'm not. Maybe he's my kind of person. Maybe you can say that too. I'm not worried about us. If they decide they want to, whosoever. You see, the problem we have, even as Christians, they say we are Christians. What are what happens at the end of the world? If that's your belief, what is your belief? You believe that you're gonna go to heaven and then the world is gonna end, right? If I'm correct.
Is
And
that
then the
for
world,
me? Is that for
yes,
me?
that's the belief, right?
Well, let me finish asking the question, then I'll take it
Okay,
out. Architect.
okay. So the beliefs generally, as Christians, is we will get to heaven, the rapture is going to take place, and then the world is going to end and all those stuffs. So why are you worried about you know family name? You want to do this one, you want to, when the world is going to end anyways. So why are you like, when I look at Christians, I'll be like, what are you guys holding? Why are you guys holding on to these things? Why? When you believe. And then that's why you keep wondering. You believe, oh, you're gonna get to heaven, you're gonna do all that, so why are you worried about all these things? Why don't you let it go? And then whenever the God comes and then you go to heaven, and then everybody is happy and all that. So
So,
why are you worried?
Mr. Grant, from your submission, I could tell that if a woman takes on your name or not doesn't make you less than a man.
It
It
doesn't,
doesn't
it
make
doesn't,
you
I
less
don't care.
achieve whatever it is
I
you're
don't care. You
supposed
see,
to
for
uh,
me,
achieve.
for me,
So,
for
do
me,
you think
happiness.
it is a problem of ego? Do you think it is a thing of ego that men insist, that the woman actually takes on it? Because some actually do insist, like, no, we're not insisting on, okay, taking the name or not taking. We're even talking about some going as far as having their name, their father's name inclusive. Then the father's
You
name
see,
is usually not the son name. Then there is the son name. There is the son, and you're like, why am I carrying this? Your father is
you see,
dead. Why am I even going about with your dead
you see,
father's
that is
name?
that is that is just a problem. We have ego wise and all those things. Where people, they want you to do a certain thing a certain way. But I look at it in a different way. Are you going to be happy? Are you happy doing this? Is it okay? Is it a good thing? Now these ladies in question, or this woman in question, or these women in question, they are not bad women. We need to understand that they're not even bad women, but they just feel okay. I think because of the way my dad have so much impact. You see people drawing tattoos. They draw tattoos, they put their kids, they put their dad, they put all those things in their body. Why do they do that? Because they feel these people have so much impact in their life. And that's why they probably want to take that name, just because of that, those kind of things. People react in different ways, right?
All right,
So I don't.
Mr. Grant, let
Yeah.
me ask you this question so we can move on to someone
Okay.
else. This is from Michael and he's asking, Grant, why did you get married?
Why did I get married? What What do you mean? Why did
Yes.
I get married?
I mean,
Is it, I,
I'm sure he's saying in regards to, if you don't mind your wife answering the name, and you don't even mind if they answer if they answer their mother's last name, you you are completely indifferent about it. So yeah, Michael is asking.
I got married because I want
Michael
to
is
be happy.
asking. So why did you get married?
I got
Oh,
married
great.
because I want to be
Oh, great.
happy. It's just as simple as that. There is no, I want to be happy. So I'm
All
happy
right.
with my wife, my kids. I love it. I love them so much, you know, and that's it. There's nothing else. If you maybe you
All
think is
right.
the
Thank
name,
you.
then it's up to you.
All right. This is from James Morgan. He says, I see Ima is comparing two cultures, South, Southeast, and Southwest cultures and tradition. James Morgan, why not just click on this and come, let's talk. Come on to the platform, let's talk. Come on, James Morgan. Come on, let's talk. The barrister has been saying and still he thinks that we shouldn't have conversations like this. Oh yeah. The barrister says, folks, there is nothing wrong in women changing their family names when married. So some issues are better not discussed because that is the culture. Okay, we are asking why, and there is a saying that this culture is from the Western world. That originally women are allowed to keep their name when they get married. That it is Westernization that changed it. So if we are talking about culture, could that findings be wrong? Could it be right? Mr. Collins, welcome to the broadcast.
Well done, my sister Emma. I'm just joining. I went outside. I'm just coming in, so I didn't know the topic. If you can be able to enlighten me more.
Oh, it will be a pleasure to do that, Mr. Collins. So we are talking about why a woman have to change her last name when she gets married. Some women find it, difficult, or they struggle to change their last name, being that you know it's like disconnecting them from their father. Okay, I know you get the whole picture now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that's what we are talking about. Why a woman has to change her name to her husband's name. Mr. Collins, why is this so?
There's some certain thing, one thing about life is all about, because of the Western world or Western life, most things we forget our tradition. There's something, the culture that come to stay. But in less of that culture, I believe in life you can make amend, but that shouldn't be an issue and it shouldn't be a problem. It's like somebody telling you that if you are not going for marriage, like some woman today, if you are not going to wait them in their own church, they are not going to wait in your own church. You understand? So they prefer to do the wedding in their own church. I'll see several people, you understand? Several of them that want to, if you want them, you have to do the wedding in their church, not in your own church. So and they see some men bending with that. So when it comes to names, I don't think that should be a discussion because it shouldn't be an question because it's something that have come to stay. We should try as much as we can to keep our tradition and culture because these are the things that people know us for. This is the thing that people will remember us for. I don't encourage people to change everything. Like for me, I'm a Christian, but there are some traditions I don't advise people to change or advise people not to practice, unless the one that involve bloodshed. But there are some certain things that represent who we are, something that shows that this is us. So woman, not only we are not the only people practicing it. It's all practiced all over the world. I think all over the world, when a woman married, he bears the husband name. Unless maybe when you are no longer with your husband, then you can change your own name. Like what see like Kardashians, Kim Kardashians. After the divorce with Kanye West, he feel like I can change my name to I'm no longer answering that West. Maybe he wants to keep answering Kardashian. So, but for me, it's a normal thing, like a woman should bear her husband name. But if that should be a problem, if that should be a problem, mark my if, I don't think that should be a problem. If your wife maybe keep push pressing that she wants to bear her name or something like that, I don't think that should cause a problem because that is just a name. For me, just a name. It shouldn't be a problem. Bring it pouring inside family. So,
So it
but
is it is not enough for two people to part ways because of that.
yeah, yeah, no, no, no. It shouldn't be a problem for me. I don't. For me, if my wife wake
So
up
in
tomorrow,
your case, if it, yeah,
if my
please
wife
go
wake
on.
up tomorrow, if my wife wake up tomorrow that she wants to bear her own name, you understand? If she give me a reason why she should bear her own name, if it is sound well for me, I will just allow her to be her own name, because the only thing, most important thing, you have to listen to people first. If they give you a tangible reason, then you should listen to them. But if the reason does not
But
make any sense,
but Mr. Collins, you just said you have to listen to people, forgetting that you are not married to people. You are married to this woman. So should it not matter how she feels about
that
something like this? And personally speaking, if this was to be you in this situation, what would you have? What would you
you
do?
you just listen to me now. I said, if my wife wake up tomorrow morning and said that she wants to change her name, she wants to be answering her father's name. You understand? If she give me a reasonable thought about it, something that will make me to believe, I will buy it on it, but not maybe, or maybe she was discussing with her friends, or maybe talking something, then she will not say, okay, I must do it, or maybe somebody is doing it, she wants to do it. But if she give me a reasonable idea, or reasonable something that will make me, then, but at the end of the day, I, as Collins, will also try to bring something maybe to counter it in my own idea. But at the end of the day, we have to leave this thing to the both ways. So if my wife idea is more better, you should go ahead and answer name. Shouldn't be. I don't think name should bring a problem in family. That, for me, I don't support that. So it's just a name. You can give yourself any name you choose to give. So it's not going to be a problem for me. Yeah,
All right, Mr. Collins, thank you and welcome to the broadcast.
you're
Guys,
welcome.
please, the likes on the broadcast is very, very low. Please do the needful by liking this broadcast, sharing, and inviting someone onto this broadcast right now. I am waiting for you. Thank you to people right here in the comment section. Yes, thank you to you also watching. Please take out a minute to like the broadcast. Thank you, Mommy Diaspora. Welcome to the broadcast. James Morgan, it's good to have you here. The Barista, how you doing? Welcome, Michael. Hi, welcome to the broadcast. Fansat HD, I'll be coming right back to you, Mr. Fansat. Evans. Are you still having difficulty logging on into the studio? Please try again. Thank you. This is from James Morgan. He says, "We the ones we are copying from the Western world is their own way of life. The more we understand who we are, the better for us." So James Morgan, are you saying that a woman changing her name to her husband's name is westernization? Is one of the things that westernization dumped on us? Is that what you're saying? I would like to get clarification on this. And I've said this before, guys, that they said that answering of a man's name or changing your name to that of your husband's name after marriage, it's a doctrine inculcated or given to us by the Western world. It is not even our tradition. Originally, a woman keeps her name after marriage. So when we are sharing these submissions and we are talking of law, tradition, and all of that, please bear in mind that there are chances that the tradition states that it is a woman keeps a name. Mr. Pansat,
Yes, Emma.
you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say, obviously, we're treating this subject, everybody's contributing to it. But the answer is it's in what we're saying implicitly. The Bible did not deal with it explicitly, but like I said, I believe it was it's John 19:25 says, but this is after Christ has was killed, right? So the witnesses said, but standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. So in that verse, you could see how women are identified. Mary Magdalene is identified with the city that she comes from. She's not married. Mary, the mother, is identified by the child, right? But Clopas' wife is because there's two Marys now. So you have Mary, the wife of Clopas. But a more relevant verses because it's tradition. The whole thing, when you're born today, you have to follow tradition, basically, or you be a rebel and do your own thing, which is okay too, right? But you're gonna have to. We're going. Everybody's mentioned tradition. There are responsibilities, like in Ephesians 5:23 says 23. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is head of the church, his body, and is himself his savior. So you could say, hey, look, the husband cannot be the head of the household. That you're fighting a much bigger fight. But as far as the husband is the head of the household, it has to be spiritually tied as one. You have to be one when you get married. I asked Mark earlier if your wife gives you was that Collins or Mark? Somebody said that I don't care what my son's name is. You could take my wife's name. You know, I I don't see that. I don't see anybody even making that argument. For one thing, the wife could say, "Hey, look, I'm an individual. I'm not going to take the name," which will be betrayal because I'm sure she didn't say that in the beginning. If you get into a marriage and you tell your husband specifically, look, I'm gonna keep my name. If you want to marry me, I'm gonna keep my name. That's fair. But if you get married to somebody, even take his name, assume his name for a few months or a few years, and you go, you know what, I want to change my name back because I have a degree now and I want my dad's name to be on that certificate. So that would be betrayal. It could cause division because you're no longer one. You have two names. Supposed to have one name, supposed to be one. It's a tradition. If you want to come up with something, come up with your own thing, but don't attack the institutions and the traditions that have no that doesn't do us any wrong. You see what I'm saying? You if you want to get married, then you're gonna especially if there's church wedding involved and all that kind of stuff, you're gonna have to adhere to that institution, or go ahead and find your own thing. You can't come in and try to decide for everybody and try to create something new out of our institutions. So it's a slippery slope. There are kids involved, and the kids have to assume their father's name because he's the head of the household. He buys insurance in their name and adds his kids to the name of the family. And all that notwithstanding, does not negate the woman's right to do whatever she wants, but she has to bear the consequences, including divorce if the man doesn't want that. And that's just destructive in that sense. Thank you. I don't want to make enemies
All
here.
right, Mr. Pastor.
All right, so I'm talking for myself. I'm not saying you gotta do that. I'm saying for myself.
It's all right. All right, Mr. Pastor. Thank you. Mr. Mark, I got your message rather late. Please give your submission. Mr. Mark Irabo.
Yeah, thank you. So just like I said before, this
Mr. Mark Irabo.
matter
I'm sorry, Mr. Mark Irabo. If you're speaking, we can hear you here. All right, Mr. Mark Irabo. You might want to check that
in
out.
Germany,
And
for example,
please check that out and check back in, please. Thank you. Mr. Akin, welcome to the broadcast. Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you. Good afternoon, Madam Ima. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much.
Have you been following or you'd like a recap?
Yeah, I've been listening to you guys. I just decided to come in.
All right, then please give your submission to the issue.
I think regarding the name issue, is that not what you're is that not the topic?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. For me, I think it's a personal issue, but from left to me, personal opinion, I think it's a decision that is up to the woman. So after marriage, it's up to her if she wants to adopt the husband's name or not. I think for me, it's just squarely a decision she has to make. I don't subscribe to the idea that a man have to then ask a woman to change her name to his name. I understand the cultural or tradition or whatever behind it, but we are getting to a point now whereby this generation need to understand something, that we are living in a different generation. So we cannot continue to apply the way our great grandfather behaved to the way we do things today. You have children today that by the time they are 1, 2, 3 years old, they have all different gadgets, things that we were not privileged to have at the time. So the realization that we are of a new age. So when we are acting, we must take into consideration the evolution of us as people. So whenever we make decisions to get into partnership with another person, we must understand that there should be some level of independence. The woman should have that freedom to make decisions in the relationship with respect to the husband, and same goes the other way. I think for me it's a decision that the woman have to make. If she decides to change the name, it's up to her, and if she decides to keep the name, it's up to her. Thank you very much.
All right.
Emma, could I just say something quickly on that? Yeah, it's a decision she has to make, but remember, it's status quo ante. In essence, before she got married, she kept her name. She has a name and her parents' name. So the only thing that changes then, it's if she does go into marriage. Okay, so I guess if she's not going to follow tradition, she should discuss that prior to getting married. As far as her husband says, "Oh yeah, I don't care. I mean, this is 2022. You could keep your parents' name, all right? But because there's tradition and culture involved, it's just assumed. If you don't discuss it, then you're gonna have to do your husband's will in that case. But if you do discuss it and two of you agree, fine. Because before she got married, she has the name. She keeps, got her certificate under that. So yeah, to me, if I have the right to rewrite traditions, yeah, it shouldn't matter to me either. I just want to come off as a nice guy too, like these two gentlemen are doing here. If I have to rewrite it, yeah, why should I care, right? But there are consequences in society, including finance, economy, household, kids that may come later on, things like that. So it's why rock the boat? Why shake it? If it ain't broke, why? What's the big deal?
All right, Mr. Pansa. Before I go around to ask this question, I'd like to beckon on you guys to please like the broadcast. The number of viewerships, likes, they do not tally at all. So, guys, please just take out a second to tap on the thumbs up on your screen. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Makirabo.
Yeah,
Now, the
thank you
story
very
I
much.
the story I read out. If if that were to be you and your partner, how would it have ended? If after getting married to your wife and she's refusing or she's insisting on not changing her name, but having doing the necessary change of name on documents, but not going back to change all those other documents that she already has, what would how would it have ended? Like the other couple that I shared their story, they parted ways, they opted for divorce. Now, if it was you, what would have been the outcome?
Thank God I'm not in this situation. My first wife, even before the marriage, she already went to the registry and changed her name, even before we married. Until
Even before
today,
you got married?
yes, because we already have the date and everything because of the document. Because after our marriage, we were supposed to travel. So I was not even the one who told her. She even went to the registry, she changed everything, ID card, everything carrying my name even before the marriage. Even after the divorce, till today she's still carrying my surname. I've told her
After the
several times,
divorce.
now we divorce, please go back to your father's name. She said, no, my surname remain her name forever.
But do you know how stressful that is?
You know. So I always ask her, why are you still carrying my surname? She told me she don't want to have two names. My children is carrying my name, and she want to also carry my name. And my second wife also now, the one I'm living with now, also thank God it was not also issue. So it's just like normal things. So that is why I thank God I'm not in the situation.
Okay, all right, Mr. Makurabo.
And what I was trying to say before, here in Germany, if you marry, it doesn't mean that you have to throw your father's name completely away. You will become Mrs. Irabo, born so and so. So your father's name is still there. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Your father's name will still appear. You were born so and so, but you are now Mrs. So and so.
Okay, all right. All right, yeah, it's good that you have some men
The
who would
other guy
allow
said,
people add. Go ahead, Mr. Makurabo.
this should be discussed with people with personal, so it's what you agreed on.
Okay. All right, Mr. Makurabo. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm leaving you now. I'm already at work. I will leave you people now. Have a nice day. Thank you very much for having
And
me
you too,
today.
Mr. Makurabo. Goodbye. All right. Bobito, it will be really good to have you on this broadcast, but you have to connect your mic. You have to connect your mic and your cam before you can join the stream. So please follow the instructions attentively. When you gain inch and when you gain entrance, then you can shut down your camera and your mic. But before you do that, you need to give permission. Please do so I can have you on here. All right, Mr. Pansat. According to the story that I read, that I'm going to direct this question very personally to you. If
Yes.
that were to be you and your partner in that situation where after getting married to the woman, 2 years later, she's saying, nope, I'm not changing my name. I'm not changing my surname anywhere. I'm not doing nothing. What would have happened?
Well, it's very, very hard to answer that question because I don't know what brought that about in the first place. Maybe going to counseling and then having your pastor talk to you about it or something like that. But it is up to her. If it's just her name, fine. But if it's like my kid's name, my children, I may have to object to that. But she could change her name, obviously. I'll try to talk her out of it. But it's a difficult thing. I believe there's a lot of things going on under that. Maybe she wanted a divorce, but it's a difficult situation to be in. But it's something maybe if they still are grounded, they could go to their parents, they could go to their church, they could go to professional counseling and try to get others input into it. Because, like I said, the name has consequences, the lineage, and things like that. But yeah, that's where I'll handle it. I will try to get other people to input, see whatever reason she's giving. If it's just to make her parents proud because they trained her in school or something like that, I think that was frivolous to damage an institution that served us so well. All right. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Pansat. That was beautiful. Thank you. Mr. Collins, I already know your take. I already know your take on this. So I just don't want to jump. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I don't know. Or like you just the question you just asked, if I happen to be in that situation, for me, I am not in that situation yet, which I'm praying to be in the. I am not married yet, which I am praying to be. But sometimes in this life, most of like this program, what you are doing today, help a lot because kind of a way to teach. You learn something from it because you learn from people's mistake. So for me, I always try to learn from people's mistake. I don't allow something to happen to me before I be able to learn. I have to pick from people around me, look at people around you, what is happening around them. So if you see what is happening around them, you can be able to learn from them, pick one or two things from them. So in this situation, like the last caller said, the last speaker said, it's not going to be an issue. There's some certain things that for me, when I look into marriage, is not supposed to be issue. Just that maybe people make something, it becomes an issue. There are some little things that it doesn't matter, just overlook it. But sometimes because everybody wants to be relevant, everybody wants to, the people to hear them. So it now becomes an issue. But in times of this, for me, if the woman truly like the man, if both of them love themselves, this shouldn't cause them to divorce. Unless maybe like the last caller said, maybe there's something fishy, maybe there's something bigger happening. Maybe they want to use this one now to hold hand. But if truly they love themselves, name of a thing shouldn't be issue for them to get a divorce. Because for me, that shouldn't make people to divorce. It's just understanding. Just talk to your wife. Your wife talk to you. You listen to her. So it shouldn't be an issue. No, go and change your name. It's not an issue. So at the end of the day, the name is not going to change anything. His name changing something. No, his name bringing money. No, his name bringing. So change your name. It's not going to be issue. So, but maybe unless two of them don't love themselves, because it's when there is no love, you see such a thing happening. But if we are two of people love themselves, all this shouldn't be an issue, because I believe they will find a way to address the issue. They must come to an agreement on this. So it shouldn't be an issue. You can talk to, for me, like somebody like me now, if I got married today, I learn from things. There's some certain things I don't want my partner to do a lot. And I will let my partner to know first, if you are getting married to me, don't discuss anything that concerns me and you to any third party, including your family, including anybody. Don't. Because I believe there is no problem that both of us cannot be able to solve, because it's all about both of us. We talk to each other. So if we cannot be able to solve it, then we cannot decide to invite third party. But since I know, because in this life, it's all about sorry, and sorry matters a lot. Sorry matter, even when you are right or you are wrong. If you say somebody sorry, trust me, even if that person's heart is like a stone, that person will melt. So for me, if I go married to you, don't take my issue to discuss with your pastor. Number two, don't discuss my issue with pastor. I have my no, I'm just telling you my own thing. I'm telling you, to be honest with you, yeah. Don't discuss my issue to you. You know, like in Nigerians, we always believe if we want a lady wants to marry, wants to go and talk to pastor. Pastor don't need to be there to tell you to marry somebody. You know me and you have been dating, me and you been moving. So you see me every day. So if you cannot be able to figure out who the kind of person I am, pastor is not going to be the person to do that for you. That means you don't like me. So for me, don't discuss my issue with pastor. Don't discuss my issue with your family member. I have my own way. So, and I'm thank God, I'm glad that a lot of things I've been seeing now. And because if I'm bringing somebody into my life, I have to make her see these things. So, and she also have to tell me her own things, and I have to respect her own thing. Like people now said, phone is problem. Like for me now, my wife, you see phone. For me, I don't want my partner to touch my phone, as in the phone, and I won't go through my wife's phone. Like maybe as in people go through phone, checking phone. I will be the last person to check my wife's phone. I won't do that. And for me, she won't need to check my own phone, but she can maybe if he ask me for phone, she can take my phone, but not going through my phone. I'm not hiding anything. There is nothing on that phone. It's just that for me, I'm kind of personal with my things like phone. I'm kind of personal with it. So, but if I'm using it, she asks me, say, "Can I see the phone?" I
But
will give her the
Mr.
phone.
Collins, Mr.
Hmm?
Collins, a woman will strip herself of her father's name to behold your name, but she cannot touch your phone, but she will take out a whole identity away from her. Do you know what
See,
leaves a woman when she drops her father's name? And
let me
because
let,
of phone, no, I mean this is it. Like the
let me
other guy, Mr. Grant said he wants just one child, but his wife and family members. So you see, men, it's about you people in
no, no,
marriage.
no, no.
A
It's not
man,
about
a
me.
man
It's not about
determines
me.
the number
It's
of
not about me.
children. You dare
No,
not
no,
if your wife says you dare not touch my phone, it's gonna be an issue.
no,
I
no.
mean, this
Systema,
is
systema. Listen to me. I just say something. Listen to me. I said that thing I would do. Me now, I won't go through my wife's phone. I won't do that. That will be last thing I would do. I won't try it
that's
unless when
because
my
you
wife.
don't want it, not
No,
because she has
unless
told
when
you
my
not
wife
to
give me
do that.
permission, when she give me permission to do that, I will do that. Like for me now, if she takes my phone, she's free to hold my phone, do whatever she wants to do with my phone. But when she begin to like go through phone, begin to go through phone, I don't like it. You can hold my phone. You can, for me, my wife will know my password. She will know my everything. She will know everything about it. But she won't be start like people now begin to go through some people's. I don't like it. For me, you know my password. Everything I'm doing, my wife will know my password. That will be the first thing she will know. Everything in my life, she will know it, but not going through it makes me angry. So In that equation, and two, when it comes to bringing wife in, I have to ask my wife, what do you really want? I have to know what my wife wants. I have to respect her things that she don't like and things she wants. And so those things that she don't want, you have to respect her on that basis. And I will tell her, I see this one, respect me on this. So we have to have that balance. I won't be saying it's only Collins you will be respect. It's not possible. There are some certain things, as you are now, there are some certain things you don't like, and you don't allow you don't want your husband to treat you that way. You understand? So for me, there are things that my wife will not like, and she will make me understand that. You see, Collins, if I keep this bag here, don't you dare go to that bag. And I will respect her on that. You understand? So I believe respect is both ways, not for me alone. Eh? Like I said, now people say they have to have family like 5, 10. I come from my mom. We are 10 in my house, so I know what it is. You understand? 10. So 10. I'm telling you the truth. So we are 10. My mom give birth to 10 children. So yeah, 10. That's to show you well. But for me, if I'm gonna have kids, 3 is okay for me. You understand? So no matter what gender they are, girls or boy, I don't care. So what matters to me, the family, because I want is too much. If my mom could have give like 5, I know how long she took for her to raise all of us. So it's a big deal. And that time Nigeria was very good, not now. It's not now. Imagine to train your 10 children to school by now. Do you know what it's going to be? You have to save millions of naira before you can do that kind of thing.
All right,
So
Mr.
for
I'd
Collins.
me,
like to respond to the last
Um,
speaker.
just
okay,
one
I'm
minute.
listening.
1 minute, Mr. Pansat. 1 minute, Mr.
Okay,
Pansat, please.
I was gonna say
No, no,
every.
no, Mr. Pansat. 1 minute.
Okay, I'm saying
Thank you.
that. Yeah, what he says, I agree
Mr.
with.
Pansat, Mr.
Yeah,
Pansat,
yeah.
can you just hold on? I'll call on you when it's good
Okay,
for you to talk,
uh,
please.
okay.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Collins, thank you for that submission. This is from Mr. Makirabo. It says, many women are happy to take their husband's name, and I say yes to this. Many people look forward to it. In fact, let me share a rather personal story. Myself, um, before my wedding, while the wedding cards had been out, just few months to the wedding, I had to tell them, just stop calling me, stop using my father's name when you call me. Just use only my given name, because I mean it's changing. So you guys need to get ready. Yes, I was really excited. It was shocking me. Yeah. So I agree. I am not here to oppose. I am not here to question it. It only became a concern to me, when a couple would allow changing of name or not to make them divorce. It just, I don't get it. If change of name would make you divorce, then I dug further and I found out that some people would enforce their wife to answer their name, their father's name, and then the family's surname, or their name and the family's surname. It's not even one. The woman is not even picking just one, just the last name. She has to take the man's name too with her. And some name are masculine, or they are not gender based. So you could have name like, I can't think of a name right now that sits for both a man and a woman. You already have that name that questions if you're a man or a woman. Then you now have two other male names. And sometimes when people don't even know who they are addressing, they could refer to you as Mr. because you just packing man name full everywhere. I am not here to counter or to make women feel that it is not necessary to answer your husband's name. As from this submission, you would know what you should do. I mean, that's the whole idea of having different people to reason together. And you guys are even in luck today because we have smart people on here that are dropping nuggets, wise nuggets for you guys, and even in the comment section. So yes, please, this is like the second or third comment I have seen, wanting to know the whole idea for bringing such sensitive discussion. Yes, we have to bring it. If it is a problem, we have to talk about it. Okay, this is from J.E. Wise, and this is for you, Mr. Collins. J.E. Wise is saying, Mr. Collins, you need to be open when it comes to marriage. If not, that marriage will be super story. All right. Mr. Passat, you wanted to react
Yeah, I
to
wanted to.
what Mr. Collins said. Okay, please
By
take
the
it
way, I
away.
appreciate what you said about yourself, and that's sweet to hear. And then I also agree with Mr. Collins in total. So what he said was true. It's just that I saw him kind of bark at the idea of going to counseling, which is like, young. I don't think Mr. Collins is married yet. When let's say, when you meet your future wife and you guys go through it
We
and you get,
we could
and you
just
get,
ask him right now. We could just ask him right now. Mr.
okay,
Collins, are you married?
I am not married. I'm not married. I'm not
Okay.
married. That's why I
Oh,
said I'm not.
you're not.
Yeah, I'm
Naim
not.
be
Oh, okay.
Naim be say you can find out now when you do get married. Say the thing that it's involved in marriage is trusting and trustworthy.
Of course.
That's important. And when you have your phone and you could make your rules, but if you break one of the rules that make a woman not to then trust you anymore, let's say you stayed out all night or something like that, then that breaks something whereby she say, "Hey, I wonder where he went last night." Then he could then try to look at your phone. So that changes from what you guys, when you were ideally in love in the beginning and doing all that stuff. So
Of
it
course.
So,
changes.
so Mr.
So
Pastor, in a
yeah,
nutshell, you are saying don't give her a reason to want to snoop on your phone.
right. But like I
Yeah.
said, it's trusting and trustworthy. So what if she's not trusting? There are some people who they're just not perpetually trusting. At some point, they have their range. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard to remain trusting for a long time, both ways. So that's why counseling in Nigeria men try to, like I was like that when I was back home. Hey, I can't, don't go telling your pastor, or I'm not gonna go counseling and all that. But it's not taboo. It's a very good thing. But that's probably the Oyibo one. Or if you're homo and there are what we call elders back home, then you can also summon their counseling, people that that are respected in your place, or church or whatever it is. But counseling is counseling because it's good. People can intercede and then give you guys an advice. You don't have to adhere to it, but counseling is a very, very good thing for a marriage. All right.
Can I say something? Let me say something. I thank you for your advice. I appreciate it so much. Sistema, for me, I'm not married, which I'm praying by the grace of God. I am looking for a wife. Um, uh,
Amen.
but one, yeah, but one thing I want to say here, everybody, like for me, like I have a lot of friends. Like two of my friends just got married recently. So, and I used to like look at how them be living with their life. I have, for me, in my house, we are six. I have six sisters. My mom gave birth to six girls. So we only four boys, so six girls. So for me, when it comes to woman, I do respect a woman so much because I grew up under them very well. I do respect a woman, as in for me, most of my friends, as in my core friends are girls, not even men, as in girls. So in my life, I would say like girls are the most people that helped me in life more than boys, as in that. So I respect the woman so much. Like people, like ideas people have is different from the ideas I have. If I can be able to stay in this age without having any quarrel to any woman, trust me, I am a family man. I like family so much. So I would respect my wife in anywhere. Like people used to say that you can't cook for your wife or your wife can't send you to market. And your wife is free to send you to market, to send you anywhere. But once all those things are being done with understanding, you understand? Once those things are being done by understanding and that trust, their respect, because that is the most important thing. Once there is a respect in that, I don't have any problem doing that. Unless when I'm doing it, then you take me for granted. It becomes a problem. But once we are doing things, then it becomes like understanding, it's cool for me. I don't have problem. For me, like I said here, my wife is going to know my password. Like somebody asked me a question and there, my wife will have my password. Everything that concerns me, she will know. I won't keep any secret out for her. But one thing I'm saying for me, like people used to go and check their wife phone or begin to find out who their wife is talking on phone. I don't do that. It doesn't, it's not necessary to me. For me, I don't buy in that. So, and the same way I respect you on that, I want you also to throw that the same respect for me. Like if I'm answering call, and I can talk to system freely. So I'm not hiding anything. You shouldn't be asking me, are you talking to a woman on phone? That becomes a problem for me. I don't like it. So because for me, I won't be asking you, are you talking to a man on phone? Because if I trust my wife, I shouldn't be asking her who she's talking on phone because we have to have that trust there, which is more important. So once you trust your partner, forget about anything. Somebody may be telling you, say, I saw your wife in Abuja. Because you trust your wife, you don't need to begin to look into it or begin to listen to it. Unless when you don't trust your wife, then it becomes a problem. So for me,
All right.
it shouldn't be an issue for me. Thanks.
All right.
You will
Thank
do
you for
very
that.
well with that. You are absolutely right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Mr. Kim.
Yes, my sister. I've listened again. I think the main issue here, especially with that the marriage that they got divorced because of change of name. I think that one is I think it's something that has to do with ego. And for me, there was no need for it.
On whose part? Ego on
On the
whose
man,
part?
on the man's part, definitely the man's part, because it might be because changing of name is just more of a status thing. Outside of that status thing, I don't see what else it stands for. So, what do you stand to achieve by your wife taking your name? Apart from seeing it to be that she's beneath you. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So if she made this decision, I have no problem with that. If a woman comes and say, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to change my name to your name," fine, no problem. But it will never be a discussion for me. It will never become a discussion when you are getting married. That, oh, by the time we get married, you have to change your name. Why should that even be a discussion in the first place? You don't need to talk about such thing. If the woman want to, she will come to you and say, "Okay, I want to change my name to your last name," and then you say, "Okay, fine, that's good. You can go ahead." If she doesn't want to do it, you can just there's no need to talk about it. You just go out, you just live your life like you've been before. So I don't understand why it has to be it has to lead to a divorce issue. And secondly, my brother was talking about uh, the woman having your PIN and having access to your phone and all of those things. One of the most dangerous things I found out in a relationship is insecurity. When people are insecure, okay, that is when issues like this arise. I don't need your PIN number. You don't need my PIN number. There's no need for it. So you live your life, I live my life. We are in a relationship. It's all about trust. If you don't trust somebody, then there's no point at all. There's no need for it. So you must have been in a
Are you
relationship with
saying,
somebody.
Mr. Kim, are you saying privacy should be held highly in marriage?
Not privacy to that extent whereby you enforced it. It's just naturally it should be like a natural thing that you wouldn't need it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So if she wants to use your phone, okay, yeah, that's my phone. You give to her. If you need a phone, oh, can I use your phone? Okay, yeah, this is my phone. But can I have your password? I need to have your password. Why? You don't need all of you don't need none of
Well,
those things.
so if your wife should ask for your password to either your debit card, your phones, those are a no-go area for your wife.
No. The debit card one, that one definitely you give she will have access to your debit card. That's not a problem for me. That's not a problem. Obviously,
Okay.
and I have more than one account, so I'll definitely have one. It's okay. You take this one, go and use that one. So you know what I'm saying. So you are a man. You filter things the way you want it to work, but there's no need for the policing. There's no need for the insecurity in the relationship. A woman should not be in a relationship and then feel like she's being imprisoned. No, there have to be some level of freedom. There are some men. There are some men now. Their wife or their partner are not allowed to dress in certain ways. Come on, man. What's she gonna do? So I don't understand those kind of when you have a relationship and there's insecurity, then that relationship there's always going to be a problem. And when you have a problem in a relationship, is you might as well just go and live in Iraq or Afghanistan, because it is worse. You don't want to be in a home where there's a problem. I'm telling you, it is horrible. Sometimes you'll be out, you don't want to come home. That is how bad it is. So so it's better in the beginning, you just allow the freedom, you allow independence, let everybody have their own way. Say, listen, do your thing, I do my thing. Don't try to be this alpha male over a woman. It doesn't, for me, I don't do that.
All right, Mr. Akin, thank you very much. Mr. Pansat, I want to ask you, Jenoche, welcome to the broadcast. J.E. Wise, welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for being here, guys. Mr. Pansat, we know men are referred to as the head in the family. Now, personalizing this question to you, a man, as it has been generally, physically and spiritually agreed upon that the man is the head of the family. Now, what is the place of the woman in the family? Mr. Pansat? Okay, I'll move to Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins,
Yeah.
A man
Okay.
is said to be the head of the family,
Mm.
agreed upon. What is the place of a woman?
I think for me, like you just said it now, that is not, I don't see it that way. Marriage is 50-50. I don't see it as a man thing for me, like people used to say for quote, as an unquote, man's thing. No, it's a 50-50. You understand? There's the way you, I don't subscribe in that idea that, because for me, I always learn from my mom and my dad. You know, they used to say, like the other person said on this comment, that it's easy for somebody to say, but most people can't keep their word. You understand? I used to tell people that I live with my mom and my dad. I think among all my siblings, I was the only one that stays close to my people until you understand, everybody like went out, that kind of a thing. So I knows how they live. So if my mom and my dad, who have a standard C certificate, can be able to hold themselves, live very well, no problem, I think I should do more better than them. So for me, marriage is all about 50-50. Bring your wife, have the same equal right you have as a man. So it shouldn't be like a man's thing that it must be like a man under control. It's just like a, or like
Okay,
the
no,
last.
Mr. Collins, no, this question is not supposed to. This is just a quick question for everybody. Now, you say that a man, we've agreed that is the heir. So the woman is what? What is a woman? To you, what is the place of a woman in the family?
The same way I see myself, the same way I see my wife. So that is how I
Okay,
see it.
so, all right, thank you for that. Mr. Hakim, what's the place of a woman in a family?
The place of a woman is, how would I put it now?
If the man is the head, the woman is what? The neck, the shoulders, or the tail?
I don't think, for me, I don't think the man is the head. I think the man just leads the family. The family is a unit. It's one unit. There's no head or tail. It's just you have one who leads the family, and then everybody else in the family are just like, they look like they just follow. They follow the leadership. It's more like a captain of a ship. The man captain the ship, while the woman and the children and everybody else in the family just, you know, uh, uh,
So, Mr. Hakim, you're saying the place of the mother and the place of the children are the same. The woman doesn't have, a specific place. She's just there.
No, no, I wouldn't say she's just there. Obviously, the woman have her own role in the house, but I don't apportion role to a woman in the house. This is what I'm trying to say.
But but
There's,
but your portion role of the man in the house.
yeah,
Can you beat it out?
obviously the man is going to be the captain of the house, right? But then
Okay.
being a captain doesn't mean that the woman become your slave or your workhouse. No, the captainship is that you, as that figurehead, have to lead the house. But the thing is, while leading, you have to have a level of a form of humbleness in you to understand that the people who you are leading are not your slaves. They have equal right as you, but you're just it just happened that you are in that position as the man of the house. That's all.
All right, Mr. Hakim. Thank you for your contribution. I'm up to Mr. Chooks. Mr. Chooks, good to have you
Uh,
back.
yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mr. Chooks. We know the man to be the head of the family. What is the place of a woman in the family?
well, if we must tell ourselves the truth, we all know how things work. And I'm gonna give this example. Um, if we go to our workplaces, everybody got their roles. And this is how I see it in a family. Everybody got their roles. Some people will be manager, some people will be team leader, some people will be CEO, the same thing in the family. You know, for me, I don't know if to use the heads, you know, if it is appropriate, because I've had people, talk about, they don't know if it is the head or the tail or the neck or the shoulder, but in my own way, I think everybody has a role to play, and if everybody understand their roles, I don't think the question of what we named it can be a problem, because for me, a man is the team leader of the house, you know. So,
Okay.
yeah, as
And
a
the
team
woman
leader.
is Mr. Chooks, you're trying, you're being very diplomatic with this question. So
No, 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 no.
the woman is, isn't it amazing that we have a name for man, but you don't have a name for the woman?
No, no,
So
no, no. I'm
the
not trying
woman
to say
definitely
there's
has
no
a
name.
place.
No, 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 no. I'm not trying
Okay,
to
so
say
what is
there's
a
no name.
woman?
For example,
What is the place? So what
I
is the place of a no, no,
I give
no,
you
don't give
I
me for
give you an
example.
example of
No, don't
I
no
give you
no
an
no,
example of
Mr. Chooks.
yeah.
Mr. Chooks,
Okay,
don't be
okay.
diplomatic, please. Don't give example. Just the man is a team leader in your words. So the woman is what? What is she? See, a woman has a place.
Ah,
So what would you call her in your in your own definition? What would you call a woman?
and this is why I give an example of our workplaces and the way things going. Because we cannot run away from it. Like we could say, okay, if a man is the head, a woman should be the shoulder. Okay, but we are running away. We all, including those who spoke before me, are running away from saying it this way. That's why I came up with this example. Because this world, the way I understand it is everything from creation has a way it's been done. So as human being evolves, as we grow, as we get more knowledge, we start to transform so many things. I think that is the problem we're
All
having with
right.
this. Yeah.
All right, Mr.
As we
Jokes, I have to
as,
move
as
away
we
from you.
grow, we have to say things. We have to, like culture, for example, now we left so many things that is being done in a cultural way before. I heard when you're talking about woman having a name and giving out that name. I mean, this is what we're talking about. In the past, there's no question about who is gonna be who. Because if you are married, you leave your father's home and your mother's home to go to the man's house and you take up the name. But today, because we are evolving, we decide, okay, with understanding, I can decide, let her keep her name, as long as we live in peace. That's all. So that's why I'm seeing it. It's not like we are running away from it, but because we are making progress, making a quality of life more important to us.
All
So
right,
that's how
Mr.
I see it.
Chooks.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for your submission. I'll move on to some other person now. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Ike. Good to have you on the broadcast, sir. How you doing? Okay, I've done that for you.
Yes,
All right.
I'm blessed. And
Yes,
you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Good to have you on the broadcast. All
Thank
right.
you.
So what? Let me ask you the same question I'm asking every other person. The man has. It's been agreed that the man is the head of the family. What is the place of a woman in the family?
Well, Kachi, listen, I have to go biblical in order to answer your question. You can still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Um, the Bible made us to know that Sarah called Abraham Lord, and he called her blessed. And when God created Adam, the Bible said that God discovered that Adam was lonely, and he caused Adam to sleep. And he went to his ribs and brought out a woman, and he asked Adam to call her what you want to call her. And Adam called her a woman, a bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. And where is the ribs? The heart, love. So love and bless is what God has called women. But there are one divine characteristics in the life of women: management of the home. It doesn't matter how a man can claim to be good to manage the home. God has given this
divine gift, not an imposition, but a divine gift of blessing to women to manage a home, both our kids and everything involved. So for me personally, as a child of God, Jesus is the head of my home. And I and my wife are equal partners to our relationship. There is no difference between me and my wife. I give practical example. Today I am off work. I'm going to cook lunch before she comes home for lunch. And it doesn't necessarily mean because she's my wife, I have to wait when she comes back, she will prepare food for lunch. No. That's why I say we're equal into the partnership, the relationship. We are compatible to each other. The hands we have. Why Jesus is the head of the church? Because if you cut off one of the hands, there is pain in the body. So God made it to be complete. So we are complete in a marriage. We are there for each other, to help each other, to be there for each other, and to love each other, and to, cry when you cry, laugh when you laugh. And that is why it's good before we get into a marriage or relationship, you have to be able to ask yourself and prepare yourself, am I ready to get into relationship and marriage? I give you an example. I had people who are talking, I listened to some of my colleagues who said about, because you have been dating or you have been in a relationship with her, you know her. But I want to let you know, all of us are living in the Western world today, for example. We have seen people who are living as not husband and wife for so many years. Even in the process of that, they have kids. But immediately at the end of the time that they have decided, okay, we want to make it official, we want to get into marriage. From the very first day, they are blessed as husband and wife. Most of the marriages, if you are very honest to you, where we live, most of those marriages never survive. Some of them divorce after 3 months. But these are people that have been living for over 18 years. Even they have kids. And when they come together really now as husband and wife, the marriage will not last. So the question is, why is it that the marriage will not last? Which means that all these years of friendship or relationship or whatever you call it, each of the two partners has something that is attached to the relationship. Either the woman is into the relationship because of financial security, or the man is into the relationship because of financial security, but because they don't love each other. But there is something to gain materially into the relationship. So by the time they become husband and wife, they now find out that everything belongs to each other. Every one of us has 100% into whatever we have. And by that time, now the woman or the man will discover really that I don't love this man, but I love somebody somewhere. But I've been in this relationship because of financial or material, whatever security. So my dear Kashi, listen, God is not a man. God who created the institution of family and marriage did not make any mistake. But it is when we human beings begin to add and subtract and minus and add, that is where problems come. So equally in my home, I don't want to generalize things because people have different perspectives, But in my home, as a child of God, like I said from the beginning, Jesus is the head of my home. And I and my wife and my kids are the hands and the legs and everything that is the component of Christ in my marriage. So you talked about the issue of name. Before I got married to my wife, We dated for 13 years, but there was no immoral relationship in that 13 years. We used 13 years to study our lives and see that, is there anything that will be a problem when we eventually get married? And part of this discussion was the name. You know, the people of the Western world, the name of their family is always very important, like I said, to the man. And when that topic came on the table, when we were talking about it, I told her from the perspective of the Bible, I told her from the perspective of an African man, the culture where I'm coming from. And she brought her own in the table. And at the end of the day, we agreed that she will bear my name, but the family name will be there. You know, so people who are saying when I marry, then I will tell her, no, this is the mistake of a lot of men. You don't you don't hide anything before you get into marriage. You got to throw it open on the table. If the woman truly loves you for who you are, not because of what you are or because of whatever, she can always love you with who you are, not about those things you want to tell her after, which means you are trying to chain her into a relationship, which means you were deceitful from the beginning, because you have to be honest, you have to be open. That is something every one of us forget as men and women. Most of us, 99.5% of us, were not virgin when we got married. There was somebody in the life of your wife before, and there was a woman in your life before. So we should be reasonable enough to understand to let go of the old things. Because why you see the issue of searching the telephone is because most of us are still thinking they don't trust their wife or they don't trust their husband. If my wife cannot make use of my phone freely, then what is the sense of the marriage? If my wife cannot make use of my banks, my account in the bank, then what is the sense of the marriage? What is the marriage is all about? The Bible said that the two will become one, and what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Can you only become one only in sexual relationship is why you become one? But when it comes in the day-to-day running affairs of the family, you become the man in the house. No. Everything has to be equal. It's not only we are one, only in relationship in bearing children. But when it comes to the economic aspect of the family, oh no, I am the man. I run the show. No. Example as I'm talking. I don't run the finance of my family. My wife runs the affairs, the financial aspect of my family, because I'm careless with money. That is a heavy responsibility for a woman to run, including the kids. Thank God that our kids are grown. They are no more with us here, but that is a very big responsibility. We make decisions together. But what is important in the life of a woman is that you don't go out and begin to show people that you are the man in the house. For every decision we make here in the house, the wife pronounces that decision that it is my husband. Even though it is her that brought the best idea. But she cannot go outside and begin to tell, I am the person who made that decision. No. Because the woman knows that immediately you begin to do that, immediately you begin to take the ownership of that decision. You have sold the respect and the dignity of your husband. You have not given your husband the opportunity to protect you. Because for every decision your husband is going to make, you know already. So we say amen to it, or we say no to it.
All
so
right,
my brother,
Mr. I.
Yes.
Thank you. That's as much as I can take from you. I need to talk to other panelists, but I will come back to you. Thank you very
Okay.
much for that, sir. Please don't
Okay.
go anywhere because I need to hear more from you. Thank you very much for being on this broadcast, sir. Thank you. Mr. Mori, lovely to have you on this broadcast. Happy New Week, Mr. Mori. How are you doing?
Good morning from here, Miss Ima. How are you doing today? I'm doing fine. How was your weekend?
Oh, I had a good one. I had a good one, Mr. Mori.
I can see it on your face. Your face is full of smiles.
Thank you. Thank
I,
you.
I,
All
I
right.
know you like the submission of the last speaker. I know you like that submission. That's all everyone. That's what every woman wants in a marriage.
Oh yes, oh yes, yes. Of course I do, Mr. Moriye.
Thank you.
What's your take on this change of name? Do you also, join the school of thought that says she has to change her name to my name, or you are indifferent about it?
Okay, is that the topic of today, right?
Yes, sir. So this couple, okay, for those just joining us, this couple who finally went through a divorce because the wife refused to change her name 2 years after they got married. The man couldn't take it and ended the marriage. Now, is that enough ground for one to even end marriage? And what is the importance of a woman answering her husband? So, what is that thing that it does to men? What's your own view on this,
Okay, Kachi, I'll first of all ask by saying,
Mr.
uh,
Moriye? Do
eh?
not call me catchy again.
I'm sorry. My bad, my bad. I'm sorry about that. Miss Ima, Miss Ima, sorry about that. That was a mix up. You see, first of all, I will start by asking the background of the people because the culture, number one, the culture, the background, and yeah, the culture of that's the main thing. If they are from Africa,
These
like
are Nigerians. These are
Niger-
Nigerians.
okay, Nigerians, okay. I think the woman was wrong, but this is my own view. So if it were to be Western world, they don't really care. They don't really care. They don't care. You getting married to somebody in African tradition. I mean, that's our belief. That's our culture. That's our tradition. The lady, in my own opinion, is supposed to change her name to the family name of the husband. That's what we do in Africa. I don't know if things have changed right now because some people in Africa are more Westerners, are more Americans. Even when they're in Nigeria, they are more Americans than the Americans themselves these days. They live in Nigeria, they tell you the culture in America. Don't tell me that. Don't give me. I don't give a fuck about that. They live in Nigeria. Some are even living in my village. Somebody went to home, wanted to get married to one lady. The first thing home, I'm gonna do this. Who gonna? Everything happening in America was once this lady was preaching. The guy sat back like, it's not as if I didn't see ladies in America. I was not comfortable with that kind of culture. I wanted something from home. That was what ended that relationship. You understand? So we can't be, no matter how we look at it, we cannot be more Catholic than the Pope. Let's not see. I live in the Western world, but I wouldn't come here. I don't belong to those that want to come here. Who want to, because of see, the woman in a marriage is as important as the man. Like the last speaker rightly said, I respect for each other. The Bible says the man is the head of the home, just as Christ is the head of the church. He said the woman must respect the man. And the Bible also said, man, love your woman. You understand? Love your wife. So if you getting married in African culture, you say you don't want to change your name. I mean, there's a way you can do it. If you were Josephine, Josephine Baba, and your husband's family name is whatever, Idialu or whatever, you can, if you don't want to let your family name go, you can retain your Josephine Baba Idialu. You get what I mean? So that you don't want that your family name to go away. So you make your husband's name the third one. You see, family, African men, sorry to say this, so I don't know if it's pride I'll call it. We have this thing in us that we are the men. So it depends on the degree of, we try to be in charge. Sometimes, African culture gives us that right, like to feel we are in charge of the family. I'm not saying you take undue advantage of your wife. Your wife is as important. Behind every successful one man, they say there's always a woman. There is equal partnership in the relationship. I'm not against that. But when it comes to giving the man his due respect, please don't take it away. What stops you from celebrating the man's name if you are so proud? This is the man. I don't know how long they dated. I don't know how long they have been together. If you say this is your husband, you should be proud of everything about the man and his family. The man wants that, sense of entitlement too. This is my wife. If you are married, you are still bearing your family name. Sometimes people don't even see the relationship, the connection between you and the man. I think that is my, little
All
submission.
right.
That is my own view.
All right, Mr. Mori. Thank you for that. Brother Nice, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine. And you?
I'm fine,
Can you
brother
hear
Nice.
me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very okay.
All right.
Happy New Week. Yeah,
Happy
Happy
New
New
Week.
Week.
Why didn't I see you in the morning? Is everything
Yeah.
okay?
Well, we thank God for everything. Everything is okay. Thank God.
All right, brother Nice. All right, all right. Okay, so to the matter on ground, what you take?
Yeah, for my own view, I just want to speak from the biblical way and as a Christian and the reality as well. I think you cannot undermine the role of the woman in a marriage. You understand? It's very important. It's very essential. And if a woman don't want to pick up a man's names in a marriage, what's the essence of the marriage? If you don't want to pick up the name, what's the essence of the marriage? Picking up the name of your husband is very important as well. So it's not a thing that you will refuse. If you don't want to do it at the first place, don't go into a marriage. You rest in your father's house, then keep the name of your parents. So when you go to a marriage, yeah, I think it's very important you pick up the name of your husband. So I think that one is real. It's very real, and there's no two ways about that. So that is what I see. The woman, that is what she's supposed to think of before she gets into marriage. You cannot go into the marriage and tell the man that you are not going to pick up his surname. So I think that one is wrong. You know. So for the other side of it, for those that think women, because they are the head, the men they are the head, the women are not their slaves. That is not what the Bible said. Woman is a helper. God have brought it to you. You are the head of the house as a man. The woman is your helper. Always see her as a blessing to you. So respect and adore her. That is what the Bible said. That is my contribution. Thank you. Miss Emma, can everyone hear me?
Yes,
I
we can
can.
hear
Brother
you.
Nice.
Take your own
Yes.
measures.
Brother
Yeah,
Nice. Now I can hear
yeah.
you.
Okay.
All
The
right, brother
the
Nice. If you are done with your submission, thank you. Are you done?
yeah. Yeah, I'm done with my
Okay, brother
submission.
Nice. Okay, okay. Mr. Let Go, I see that you are back into the platform. You'd like to give a contribution. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Emma. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yeah, from um, this discussion is very, very important. I remember the last week we talked about how Brother Nice was migrated to Libya and all what he saw and witnessed and his testimony to us and to our fellow brothers and sisters. And today, that discussion is manifesting because the way Dubai is deporting Nigerians and all over the world, the way they are treating Nigerians is so bad. And that topic is very, very relevant for those who have plan and for those who want to go to any country, without following the due process. So thank you for that last week, and thank you, Brother Nice, for that testimony. Concerning today, what I would say is this: when two individuals want to get married, that they believe in themselves. Hello?
Mr. Let Go, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So they believe in themselves. If they love themselves, if a man love a woman and the woman love a man, you don't need anybody to tell you the truth or what to do. and from where we came from, our culture, our value. People, because of exposure, because of what they can do now, because of what the kind of work they do, the kind of responsibility they have. So especially our ladies, many are being carried away because of how their friends are doing. But our value and who we are and where we came from, our culture, nurtured us that a man is the head of the family, no matter his age, no matter how he look, no matter what he do. So when a man wants to get married, he's happy. The ladies also is happy. Nobody need to tell you that you have to bear the man's name. That is our culture. And when that did not happen, in a few years to come, that generation will be, changing and passing away. For example, I can't have my wife. We go to occasion. I'm answering a different name. My wife is answering a different name. So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So for a
All right,
lady
Mr.
to marry
Nego.
and trying to still answer his or her father's name, to still answer her father's name, while being in marriage, is not acceptable unless the person is not telling herself the truth. If you tell yourself the truth, that is not an option. Or, like the last speaker said, if you still want to retain your father's name, you have to attach it to your current husband's name. That is the way it is. So there's no two ways
All right,
about it.
Mr. Nego. All right, Mr.
Thank
Nego.
you.
Thank you for your submission. All right, Juno Che. I'm first to say now, man, you be good thing that this year breaking out of the norm and this is working for you. It doesn't work for everyone, and I think what's most important in marriage should be to what works for you, really. Because when you look at answering the name or not, what really does well everything being said, it's important that we all of us we do what works best. Sit with your partner, have a very solid talk with your partner, and that way you know where to take it up from. Thank you, Jonathan, for being part of this broadcast. Thank you for your contributions, your input. The barrister, thank you. Michael Irene Finest, thank you for being here. Mark Irabo, Obasiyi, thank you. It's good to have you here. I have Eddie Justice. Yes, Eddie Justice, I like your comments. Thank you for being here. Thank you to J.E. Wise. J.E. Wise, thank you for your contribution. Evans, thank you. Ostino, thank you. Father Evangelist, Man of God. James Morgan, Mommy Diaspora, thank you very much. Pansat HD. Mr. Pansat, I was going to come to you for 1 more minute. Broadcast, how you doing, sir?
Is that me?
Yes, Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy's here. Okay, sorry.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yes, Mr. Kennedy.
Oh, thank you. I just saw you online. I just landed in Nigeria like 1 hour ago, so I'm in Lagos.
Yay! Welcome
Thank you very
home.
much.
Welcome home. If you had told me you're coming to Nigeria, I probably would have had dancers waiting for you, to make you welcome back home, Mr.
I just
Kennedy.
thank you very much.
All
So,
right.
what is going on? I just want to listen for a while.
Okay, you are the last panelist for today, so let me run it by you quickly. So this couple hit a divorce because the woman refused to change her name from her maiden name to her husband's name, and here we are talking about it. Is it necessary? Is it important that a woman has to? And why does a woman have to change her name? Let go of her father's name, of an identity, knowing the relationship and bond that daughters have with their fathers. Is it even a good thing or a right thing for these women to drop that? Those that want that do not want to drop. Should it be that much of a problem for them to part with? So I'm asking you, Mr. Kennedy, How do you feel about what's your take on this? Does a woman have to, does she need to drop her father's name to have a good marriage?
Well, this one hard though. This is very, this is very difficult. Anyway, I think it's better for a woman to drop her father's name and take that one of the husband. I think that this will be easier for identification because when a man like me, my surname is Egareva, my wife is answering a different surname, it'll be very difficult for people to identify her with me. But if she has the same surname, I think that would be easier for people to, acknowledge that she is a wife. And if a woman has to, keep her father's name, what about the children? Are the children going to choose between the mother's father's name or the father's name? So that would be a problem. I think, but that has been the tradition in most African societies. That has been the tradition. But in the developed world, so the women they choose what to do. A lot of women want to keep their father's name. They don't want to take the husband's name. But it actually makes no difference in the civilized world. But in this kind of world we are in Africa here, I think it makes a lot of difference. People stigmatize people a lot. They can even bully the children at school, telling the children that the mother is trying to prove superior to. Africa still has a kind of old tradition and culture. So, but I think it's proper for me. It's proper for the woman. I'm married to a Japanese, and she has my father's name. That's what my father's name. She doesn't see anything wrong with it. So I think she's happy, taking my father's name. So I don't know about others. So that's my take about it.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, thank you and welcome back home. Good to have you. Good to have you back home.
Thank you
All right,
very
Mr.
much.
Kennedy. All right, sir. I'll move on to Mr. Goodman. So you guys just coming into the studio. Wow, 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 wow. You guys. Okay, in just 1 minute, please give your submissions. Mr. Goodman, how are you doing? Welcome to the broadcast.
All right, I'm okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right. On the same Michael that you see the chats on the chat.
Sorry?
So, so I'm the same person, the same Michael that's on the chat.
Okay, all right. So since you've been following, let's have
Yeah.
your reaction to this.
So I'm just going to talk about the head of the family. There's something that is just natural. It's just a natural thing. It's made like that. I believe God made there's a reason why God made it to be so. It's not about we are 50-50, we are equal. I have a white lady came to my house and we discussing this thing. She's like saying that, oh no, the man, we are the same. I was telling her, look, you women, you don't need to pick and choose when you want to choose the head and when you want to choose the tail. I asked her the simple question and ask her, in the middle of the night, if there's a bang on your door, what you, as a woman, what will you do? The first thing she said she wake up her husband to go and check. I said, why do you do that? She said, because it's the man's responsibility to protect the family. I said, that's why, because he's the head. That's why you wake him up to go and check, because it's risky. But when it comes to the goodies, you now want to say he's not the head. But when it comes to taking risk, you push him as the head. So it's a natural thing. Man is the head of the family. The woman is there to support. So we don't need to be debating. We want to be politically correct that to know we are this. No, man is the head. And during the marriage, things happen and you will see it. It will be taking shape in the marriage. You will see it. The woman, they know. No way, because of this Western this thing they want to. I'm telling you, I told the white lady, and she saw the reason with me. Yeah, when it comes to the risk, you tell your husband, go and die. But now when it comes to the goodies, you want to take before him. It doesn't work that way. If he's going to take the risks to die, then when it comes to the goodies, you allow him to go first. So it's the same. So it's a natural thing. It's made like that. But we are coming here to say, man, woman. No, God has made it like that. That's my solution.
All right, Mr. Goodman, thank you for that. Mr. Onoche, good afternoon. How you doing?
Yeah, good afternoon, my sister. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I finally get to hear from you. Good to have you on this podcast, Mr. Onoche.
Because I prefer
What
I
you
prefer
think?
to listen to others and chip in something while they are talking. Right? That's what I
Oh,
like. I love
yeah.
to do. However,
Oh,
I
good.
I on my video because some people are saying what is strange to me that you are stronger does not make you head of the family. One, two, for change of name. I lived in Italy for 28 good years. I grew up in Italy, and Italy is the head of church. If Pope can bless those who are wedding, unite them with two different names, then who are you a commoner? If the Pope himself accept husband and wife to have different names, then who are you? Who is just a floor member? You see, in Italy, we don't change name. The only thing is that the children will have the father's name. The woman will maintain the father's name till she die. My wife has her name, Luisetto, till she die. And when she die, Luisetto, written the Adele Luisetto. But you put the cable number, it makes no sense. This is the children that will bear the father's name, right? So that's what I want to say. That we are strong does not make us head. And okay, for example, when someone knock at midnight, what of when it's time to cook or when the child cries to change the pampers? Will the man go? No, there is division of labor for everything. So we are equal. The only thing is
Mr. Onoche,
when it comes
let
to
me
money,
ask you this question.
when it comes to money, men bring in money belongs to the family. But when women bring it, it's their own. Don't if you don't want to quarrel with your wife, don't ask her of her money. Then you quarrel. You won't be happy again. Trust me. Experience.
Mr. Onoche, let me ask you this question. If you were
Right.
to
Excuse
still
me.
be in Nigeria, married to a Nigerian, would you still have this mentality, or you just have to conform because of where you are?
Probably because I left Nigeria, when I was too small. That's why. So I grew up in
Okay,
Italy.
okay. Did your family
Excuse me.
challenge you on
Emma,
this?
Emma.
Did your family, please hold on? Did your family challenge you on this?
No, my mom, when I went to Nigeria, my mom went on exile in Aba. We live in Enugu. My mom went to exile in Aba. After 1 week, she came back and she met me in the house with my wife. So she was forced to accept it. Then
She was forced
my
to
senior sister
accept
who
it.
opposed, she's divorced. She's married to a Nigerian, a doctor from my state, from Anambra State, married from Anambra, and she's divorced. Oh, I'm married Mature Onyocha. I'm still with my wife here. You see,
Mr.
everything is
Noche.
everything is take life easy. Take life
All
easy.
right.
Argument must
All
always
right.
not always end on your side. That's it.
Okay, I think someone
Correct.
wants to ask you a question. Mr. Michael, you want to ask him a question, right?
Yeah, Mr. Onoche, you are not
Okay.
getting. I'm not saying the strength. You are talking of pampers and cooking. It's a two different thing. We all take responsibility when it comes to the child. Like me, I have a child. When my children were young, I used to date them. So it's not like what I'm saying is there's a difference between taking a risk to go and check if there's an arm robber at the door and changing of pampers. It's a two different thing. You cannot ask your wife to go and to do. It's a two different thing. That's what I'm
Hold
saying.
on.
You don't
All
pick and
right.
choose.
I agree. I
You,
think
you,
I
you
think
you
it's
remember
as
Michael
good as
Jackson?
saying that.
Michael Jackson was not able to hold his child. He almost
Wait,
dropped the child from upstairs.
leave my
And
that's
it's
I'm
risky
telling you,
also.
you don't. I'm asking you, Mr. Anoch, I'm asking you in the middle of the night. If there's a bang at your door, will you ask your wife to go and check the door?
Why not?
Oh, look, you're just lying.
Why
You're
not?
lying. You're lying to yourself. You know you're lying to yourself. You know
Why
you're
would
lying.
I?
They're on their
Your
way.
wife
Maybe
divorced you
maybe
the following
maybe the
day.
policemen are coming
She
after
will,
me.
di-
Maybe
she
police
will
will come
divorce
after
you.
me.
She will divorce you the following that very moment. She will divorce you. You know that.
Yeah,
In
brother from
Western
Italy. Oh no,
Western
okay,
world,
please.
we don't have such danger. Anybody coming to my house to knock at that hour, it does not exist. Even if it is maybe a neighbor who is in difficulty.
I'll give you an instance. It happens. It can happen. You never can tell. It
It
can
has never
happen.
happened. Maybe a neighbor is in difficulty.
All right, gentlemen. All right, gentlemen. Thank you for that submission. All right, so I'm saying thank you to everyone who is on this broadcast, those watching guys. Please let's do the needful by liking this broadcast. Mbok, 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 mbok. Please like
Please,
the
I'm
broadcast.
coming to
Thank you.
Nigeria.
This
I
is
will inform you before. I will inform you. Wait for me in Anambra airport with the band, as you said.
Brother from Italy. Bro,
no, that was just
bros
for
from
Mr.
Italy.
Kennedy. No,
No, I was in Italy. I'm no longer in Italy. Now I'm UK.
Irene, please,
Yeah.
can I talk 1 second to the brother from Italy, if you
All
don't
right.
mind?
okay.
Brother from Italy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you are a bit confused with culture. That Italy does it doesn't mean a Nigerian person will do that. It's all about culture. And, we should learn to have respect for
No, it's
people's
because you
culture.
people are quoting
If
Bible.
if
It's
you
because you
go
people are
to it,
quoting Bible. That's why.
if you
You
go
guys are
to
quoting
Spain
Bible.
today, if you go to Spain today,
Mm.
right? Your children, these children, you said they have your surname. Their mother's surname must be included. In fact, that is the first name they put on their this thing as their surname before your own name. Okay, so it's all about culture, and I don't see anything wrong with it. If people can maintain it, can accept it,
Do you
like
know why?
one of the one
Bros,
of
do you
the
know
person
why?
that spoke
No,
says
do you know why?
you
You
yeah.
know why it is so in Spain? You know why? Because they are sure that the woman gave birth to that child, and they're not sure you are the one who gave birth to the child.
It doesn't listen. It doesn't matter the reason they do that. It's their culture, and with Africa, it's the same thing. Okay,
Not in the whole
it
Africa.
doesn't
In
matter
Ghana,
any
in Ghana,
reason.
they answer
You
their
so you think
their mother's name.
so you think in Nigeria, whereby or Africa, whereby they make you to change name, they are stupid. They're not
I
stupid.
didn't
It's
say
their
they
own
are
culture.
stupid. I didn't say they are stupid.
Yeah,
I said you can
that's
still
what I'm
live
saying.
without those. That thing is not problem. You can still move on with life. It's not
It's all
problem.
about understanding. That's what I'm trying to let you know. That that people does it doesn't mean it is the right, but it's their culture, and we have
But
to
it's not
respect that.
wrong. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's
All
normal.
right, gentlemen. All right,
Let's live
gentlemen.
with
We
That's
need
it.
to move on. We need to move on, please. Thank you. Please put your mic on mute, please. Please put your mic on mute. Thank you. Thank you. Please, everyone, endeavor to have your mic on mute. All right, we've come to the close. All right, we've come to the close of this broadcast, guys. Thank you very much for being part of this broadcast. I really do appreciate it. Now we're going to take a round call, starting with Mr. Pansat. What do you have to say to couples out there, dealing with 21st century ideas, and especially if you're married, Mr. Pansat, dropping not just there for, for so, and please, not something that society says or culture says. I mean, you are married. There are some things that you do that culturally might be right, but you know that that's some big problem in your home. So, what would you say to people that are married?
What I would say to everybody, actually, especially to people who are about to get married or people who are married right now, especially if they're having a problem. Nobody's going to pretend to know the mind of God, but you could say one thing as the truth. When you put all the pieces together, the marital puzzle fits together very well. Marriage is awesome, but there's no gray area when it comes to a husband is the leader and the server and the lover of his wife, like Christ loved the church and a wife. So you have to understand that what's at play right there. The way you think about the way Christ loves us, that's the way the husband is supposed to love his wife. The wife must understand that it's unequivocal. Like when she took the oath, when you go to church, raise your hand, the Bible and everything, and pledge to your husband. Your husband is the leader of that house. Whether he is lazy, he doesn't have money, he doesn't, whatever it is, understand that your husband is your leader, like Christ leads the church. It's not a semantic thing about, oh, you're inferior to me. It's nothing like that. As a matter of fact, he has more responsibility. So you're supposed to listen, obey your husband, and try to make that house, if you're a Christian, just like Christ wants to make us as our savior and everything. So you have to respect, obey, respect your wife, your husband. That's the way it is. All right. Thank you very
All right,
much.
Mr. Pansa. Thank you, Mr. Pansa. Mr. Collins, please, in 1 minute.
Thank you for having me back. I think this is a very good discussion. I love the topic so much because I've learned a lot from people. Most people that are discussing here, most of them are 80% of them are married, so I gain a lot from them. But one thing I have to say, respect is all about both ways. You can't your wife can't respect you, and if you don't respect your wife, it doesn't balance very well. So it's all both ways. Like people used to say, for me, in the same Bible, like we used to say, in the same Ecclesiastes that people always talk about, her wife should respect your husband. If you still go down in that the same chapter, he's still telling you that husband, you should also respect your wife too. So it's both ways. It's like I keep maintaining my stand when it comes to marriage. It's 50-50, and that is how I'm going to do my own. So it's 50-50. I don't have the chairman or the chairwoman. So all of us are in the same marriage. So my wife have the same authority I have. I have the same authority my wife have. So I think my father and my mother did this. Even sometimes in my village, to be honest with you, most of my father most of my father friends used to say that my mom is using jazz on my dad, but that is not true. So it's just because I have two people understand each other. So for me, I understand myself, and that is how I'm going to do it. My father can do it at that level. I think I should do more better than him. So it's 50-50. So my wife
All
have the
right.
same authority.
All right, Mr. Collins, thank you for that. Mr. Ike, please, in 1 minute, give us submission.
Well, my final submission is to let the young men and women that are planning on getting into relationship to understand that marriage is like your car engine. When you don't put oil in your car and you start that car is going to knock. So if you want to get into a relationship, you should be able to understand. I'm not speaking like any other person, but I want to speak. Okay. I want to speak like a child of God, who I am. The Bible says that love covereth every multitude of sin. The only person that is perfect in this life is God and Christ. None of us is perfect, but we only work towards perfection. So tolerance, patience, perseverance, understanding, love, above all, that's what holds relationship. And also, if you have a problem in your relationship, speak to God. Invite God in your relationship and let God direct the motor of your relationship. Because most problems that people have today is that when family come into their relationship, or when friends and colleagues wade into their family affairs, that you will see where family break into pieces. Because most of the people that you are inviting in your relationship, they don't even have a good relationship. They don't even experience true love in their marriage. The true love they experience is material things, and those material things is going to vanish someday. I love you, I love you, I love you. Most of the I love you is because there is something that is keeping us together. And if that thing is no more, that is when we test the Lord. So please, I am only advising the younger ones today who want to get into relationship. Do not be carried away when you are having my boyfriend is my girlfriend. I love you more than the way I love my parents. That is when you have not get into it. But when you finally get into it, and when the test of marriage comes, I hope you will continue to say, I love you more than the way I love my parents. So please, I'm advising everybody,
All
whether
right,
you say
Mr.
you're a
Ike.
Christian or you're not a Christian, if you want to go into a relationship, God first, because without God, I and you would not be sitting down here talking. And I all recognize that if God had wanted a woman to be the first creation, he would have done that. So a man leads the family. So a woman also should understand that love, she is loved and she's the helper in the family. God bless everybody.
All right. Amen. Thank you for that, Mr. Ike. Thank you. It's good to have you on this broadcast. Guys, this is an appeal. Now is about a good time to support us by clicking on the dollar sign to the right in the comment section, guys. It costs an harm and tooth to run broadcast here in Nigeria. So please support us as as much as you can. It goes a long way. Thank you very much. Mr. Kennedy, please give your submission.
Thank you very much. I have to ask for. I have to get acquainted to the Nigeria time. I don't even know the time it is. I don't even know this program we're doing. But anyway, I'll do my best. But anyway, some of us are saying God created men first before women. Who was there when men were created?
Answer
Who
that
was
question. I
there?
wanted to answer it. Thank you.
So who was there when man was created first? You said Adam and Eve were created first, and Adam and Eve, the father of Cain and Abel, father and mother of Cain and Abel. You know, Abel, and Cain moved to another land, and he got married. Got married to who? If they were the first people that were created. You see, I don't. Let's not bring religion into here. The fact is, we Africans, we dwell on frivolities. Well, what is a man has, a woman must carry a man's name and all that. I understand Mr. Onoche's assertion about the whole issue. Why are we even in a developed world? It doesn't even matter. The white people, they love their wives more than we do. I'm sorry to say, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody here. They love even if they don't carry the women don't carry the men's name. But they have very strong love. Our love is just about money. If the man has no money, no woman wants to marry a man without money in Africa. So what are we saying? Why are we dwelling on frivolities? Whichever name a woman wants to carry, let her carry it, but let there be love. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. We dwell so much on Africans, we dwell so much on tradition, and the tradition is leading us nowhere. We dwell so much tradition, culture, tradition. Look at in my culture in Benin, where they have to take, the woman has to go through rigors of swearing our juju ritual that she will not have an affair with any other man. And women will go around having shit with other women. So let us stop all this nonsense. Go to Oiboland and see what is going on. What be all this man and man they create first? Who was there when men were created first? Let us respect these women. Whoever wants to carry her father's name should carry her father's name. But let the love lead. That's my. I understand Mr. Onoche's submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Michael, please.
Okay. My submission is I think marriage is all about tolerance. The truth is, marriage is both ways. If my advice to the women there, if concerning this name change, if before you go into that marriage, if you go into marriage, you specify to the man that look, I'm not going to answer your name. That's fine. But after getting to that marriage, please stick to that name. Don't change it because it it spoils a lot of things because the men are human beings. If you go into that marriage without telling the man beforehand, and after getting married, you now say you want to change the name, the man will take it that okay, you just fool me. You this is what you have in your mind all along, but you just pretend. Now you're getting, now you don't want to change your name. It will cause division. So the best thing, say before you go, because we are sensitive. Human beings are sensitive. So you don't just come and just change all of a sudden. Then I'll have it in mind that you all along is you have it in your mind, but you are just pretending to get in first before you change. So that's my advice. So just take it that you've made the mistake. The man say, just take it, it's your mistake. Go on with it. Just forget it. Let me try.
All right,
That's my
Mr.
advice.
Goodman. All right, thank you for that 2 cents. Thank you. Mr. Onoche, Mr. Onoche, I could tell by your reactions that you're uncomfortable with what the previous panelist was saying. What's your reaction to this, Mr. Onoche? Oh no, not your reaction to what he said. What's your 1 minute submission to people that are married or intend to get married?
They should learn from us. I'm able to keep our wife for 3 decades. I got married 1990, right? So, like my cousins here, my nephews here, my nieces, we advise them. So this is the foot step to go to because this is how I went and I'm here where I am today. You know, the tolerance. Nobody's above mistake. That you are stronger does not mean you always win. Because when we were in secondary school, a senior boy punished one of my classmates, even whooped his ass. When the senior boy was sleeping, the junior boy picked rock on his face, boza. You see it? So when you sleep, your wife can do whatever you want. So that you are strong. You don't get anything with force. My cousin said he whoops the wife always when she make mistake. I said it's not good. So once you make mistake, what will your wife do to you? You see, everything is dialogue. That's why we have mouth. God gave us mouth to talk. Animal, they have their language, but we don't understand it. So we don't know. It is when they could not negotiate, then they fight. The same thing with us. We have mouth, but we are advanced animal. We are intelligent. We should always negotiate. When one person go crazy, let the other person chill out. When the madness has leave him, then you approach the person, madam, why now? I was joking. Then peace will come and you end up in the other room. You see it? So men will always have patience, tolerance. No matter what your madam do, not because you are stronger, you go and harm her. Leave her, please. I beg you in the name of God. If any man touch my daughter, I will kill him. If any man molest my daughter, I will kill him. Then go to prison.
Oh, Mr.
No, because it's tolerance. Everything is tolerance in life.
All right, Mr. Nache, it is really good to have you on the broadcast. I hope to see more of you on our broadcast. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Let Go, please take it away.
Thank you, Emma. This topic is a very interesting topic, but I'm a little kind of confused because I don't know whether we are talking about what makes marriage work or we are talking about culture in our own Nigerian marriage because I hear some people talking about the way Western world do their own stuff and bringing it into our own Nigerian world. And this is two different things and totally, comparing your culture with people that does not have a culture. And we have a name, we have value of where we came from. And our culture and value is still in existence. It has not gone into extinction yet. So based on that, we are talking specific on Nigeria, not outside Nigeria. For a lady in Nigeria that married a Nigerian man, that because you want to keep your father's name, because of that, you ended that marriage. That lady is not ready to marry for the first place. Because when you are ready for marriage, you don't come into marriage with an expectation. Whenever you have an expectation of marriage, failure becomes the answer. And there is no way a Nigerian man, will agree for you to be in marriage and you must answer your father's name. There is no love there. So for Nigerian women and men, do not go into marriage with an expectation. Forget the Western value and norms. They are not of ours. That is why Nigeria is where we are today. We left our culture and traditional values and trying to emulate people we don't know. So let us stick on our culture and respect our men. In where I work, example, I have a Ghanaian patient, and this lady is 76 years old, and he's about to have a surgery. And when I asked him, are you divorced or married or stuff? No, she told me yes. She is married for 46 years old now, and the husband is her God. That shocked me. I've never heard of that before. She said the husband is her God. I asked her, can you explain more? She said, yes, because it's my God on earth. So if we understand the marriage the way it's supposed to be, I don't think that woman that is because she couldn't change her father's name, therefore she quit that marriage. That is a good news to the man. the man should look for his wife. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Negro. You're welcome. Thank you. All right, Mr. Kennedy, in 1 minute, please.
I'm not sure it will be up to 1 minute. Let me just remind some people. I think this issue is prevalent in poor neighborhood, very very poor neighborhood. If you look at the very rich people in Nigeria today, look at them, Obasanjo, Iyabo, Obasanjo, whatever. These people, they keep their father's name. Look at all of them. All of them, they keep their father's name. Just look at all of them. They all keep their father's name. Iyabo, Obasanjo, who else again? I think they're all these rich men's daughter. They keep their name and then they add their husband's name. I don't think there's anything wrong in it. So you're going to see we're in the 21st century. As time goes on, all these things will be changing. But it's just poverty that is causing all these things. Women are very submissive to men. So I don't think it's going to continue. We should allow women liberation. Whoever want to keep her father's name should keep her father's name. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Kennedy. Thank you to everyone in the comment section. This has been an engaging and an insightful one too. So please, guys, to those who are facing this, who don't let this break you up, as you've heard some people say, the likes of Mr. Onoche is doing 3 decades with his wife and she's answering her name. It still goes on well. So please let go of some mentality. Look at more important things, so to say. And if you are someone who is so tied to tradition and you must do what your fair bears, have done, then please have this talk with her. There's no educated lady who you will speak to today who doesn't want to have a name for herself. So please don't just think everybody thinks that way. Take out time, know who you're getting married to, discuss things that are of values to you. Don't just walk out of the house, you come back and you've gone to do change of name for her by yourself. Of course there will be problems if she is not down for things like that. So make sure you know who you are getting married to, and you know how to advise yourself. Succumbing to the norms of the society is not what will give you peace in your home. No, that's not what will give you peace in your home. Communication has to be very broad. Communication should be a thing in your home. Your wife, yes, you should be her God, you should be her Lord, you should be her everything, but most importantly, you should be her friend. She should not be scared of talking to you about anything. She's your wife, she's your partner. She's not beneath you. She's not beneath you. We need to start checkmating these things. And then when you look at this, you see that this is why we have so many broken homes today. People are quick to just hit the rock and all that. Let go of ego when it comes to marriage. I mean, unless you know that you have options. Someone said here that his first wife, even before they got married, went to change her name. She had her name on. She changed her ID card, everything. She had his name before they got married. To fast track their papers or traveling documents. And today he's no longer with his wife, and she's refusing to revert the name back to her father's name. I mean, look at that stress. So really, just pick what works for you guys, Jerry. Society will be all right, culture will be all right, tradition will be all right. No carry tradition for your own head, scatter your marriage. That's my take on this. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you to each and every one of you. The chat comes up Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and we talk about lifestyle. We talk about things like this that affect us, and we touch light into them. On Wednesday, I'll see you. Please, if you have a story to share, reach out to me on our social media platforms or on the WhatsApp. Yes, the Niger Watch WhatsApp. If you would like to be part of it, please say something in the comment section, and an admin will add you straight up. Thank you very much for being part of today's broadcast. I had a good time, and I'm sure you had a good time. Mr. Kennedy, welcome back home. And to each and every one of you out there, I hope you have an amazing day. Please do something nice for someone today. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Please also do not forget that we have a discussion this evening by 5 p.m. with Kachi. You don't want to miss out on that. So I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye bye, Miss Ima. God bless you.
Thank you very much, guys.